What's up, guys? Gillian, the red light is on. There's numbers going.
Oh shit, we're recording.
Yeah, we're doing it. What's up, guys? We are in a undisclosed location, aka the Grapple Room. Yeah, I like it. Dave Van Auken, Gillian The Savage Robertson. The name right there says it. But yeah, we talk so much with Gillian. We always love talking to her, and we talked before the fight, maybe 2 weeks. Super cool. Made a little video, saw a little training, and then life goes quick. Holidays happen, and now it's in 2022. So I was like, all right, we got to connect. We got to get, conversation of what we just witnessed over those last 2-3 weeks. A very productive 2-3 weeks for you.
Oh yeah, just super busy, like you said. Had that, the grappling match. Got more stuff coming up. I'm like, I feel like it's just 2022 is starting fast.
I like it. I felt at least like it was a new, like I'm not a happy New Year's guy. I'm not a New Year's guy and resolution guy, but I was like, okay, we got to get over this stuff. And then Betty White, Bob Saget, like this year started off horrible.
I would say the Betty White thing got me. I feel like that's just a shock to everyone.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Coming into the new year like that. But I saw a meme that was talking about it. It's like Betty White was the master of timing and no way to go out than like to have everybody celebrate.
Right. It's a Betty thing for sure. Like we talked about it, her being so close to 100. I'm like, man, like I don't know. Yeah, that hit. That definitely that hit hard. All right, I want to hear about the story of Fury. The grapple event was amazing right before the New Year's for UFC Fight Pass. Kind of stuff, a lot of stuff behind the scenes got added pretty quickly to it. But let's start, you're breaking records in the UFC. There's a second left in a round. You get another submission victory. Last time I was here talking to you, you're like, Dave, I felt really confident in getting the throat cuddles and getting to her neck quickly too. Like before second, third round, like you felt really, really good about it. I was super pumped and excited to have that confidence and hear that confidence in you, but you did exactly what you said. Like you nailed it.
Honestly, I feel like having that like direction kind of makes it so much easier for me to fight too. Like Dean just kind of tells me, he's like, what do you want? And I'm like, I want to take her down. I want to get to her throat. And he's like, well, go do it. Like, you know exactly what you want. We'll go do it.
When people have like coach of the year, I don't know why Dean Thomas isn't in the mix, right? Like he just coached her up, just go do it.
Yeah.
There you go. But what was kind of behind the curtain a little bit? What was maybe the first or second thing you're like, oh, I'm going to get the takedown? Is it something you saw in the fight? Is it just maybe what she's kind of put out there over numerous of fights in the UFC? What was the one thing you're like, oh, I feel really good about this?
I guess just watching her previous fights, I knew once it got to the ground that it was going to be my world. I knew that it was going to, that it was just, there's such a difference in skill once we got to the ground that it would be 100% just an easy fight for me. So I knew that eventually that would come. And I feel like her hands were nothing to be nothing to look down on. Like she's drop girls. Like I feel like it's really hard to do, especially at such a small weight. Like being 125 and being able to put a girl down with an uppercut like she did in the fight before that. I'm like, it's something to go in there, and definitely you got to think about it. You got to worry about that. But I knew that it was going to be a different world for her on the floor.
Yeah, you just had this. Found someone so far. You just had this glowing confidence about it, so it was great. Okay, let's talk about the eyes. So you get the submission win, breaking records, like I said earlier in the UFC. But Priscilla's like she wasn't going down without a fight, literally, or even an illegal fight, if you want to say that. The eye poke, not one but two. There's like a Joe Rogan meme flying everywhere around with different people. Like, what was your first reaction? Like, is this really happening? What was your first instinct? Like people don't get to really feel that going out like that. What was your first take?
It's such I don't know. It's a different world in the cage. It's hard to describe how it is, like with how you feel pain, like how you feel things. So it's like, obviously someone sticking their thumb halfway into your eye, it's gonna hurt. So it's like you acknowledge in your mind, you're like, okay, that hurts, but you don't really feel it in that moment. So it's like I knew her finger was in my eye, and I could feel I felt like her knuckle go straight in my eye. I knew that it wasn't like she was just like accidentally touching it. I knew that she was trying to push my head back with that. So I definitely acknowledged it, but I was just thinking why isn't the ref doing anything? Yeah. Like that's your job. You're sitting here watching this. Why? Like you see this, ref? Do you see this?
Right. What's your take on Joe Rogan being really adamant about not even, hey, she should be suspended. Hey, what you did was dirty and stuff. But she's like, Joe Rogan's like, no, get the fuck out of here. Like she doesn't deserve to be in the UFC. It's such a line in the sand. At the end of the day, all you guys, when you walk in, guys, girls, right, you have so much respect for the other person. There's like martial arts. There's like there's a loyalty to it, and it seemed like she did kind of cross that forbidden line a little bit.
She definitely did cross the line, but I don't necessarily like. She came out saying it was an accident, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's dumb," and I honestly kind of believe her in that, where it's just kind of like a civilian response more than anything.
Like she's drowning, she's about to die, and then just it's
like she was trying to save her life, kind of, and like that was her fight or flight. She was like, "This is all I got."
Wow,
but
I never heard that's good. Yeah, I never heard that.
Yeah, so it's like I don't think that should necessarily be held against her, but also like as a fighter in the UFC. You should have been in a rear naked choke hundreds of times before and should know that, like, okay, like, this isn't the reaction. Like, just in the gym, you know she's not doing that every day. Yeah. So it's like, you just see more out of a fighter. So I think that's the big part of it for me.
Right. Yeah. That I never heard it that way. I really like it. And like you said, she's had to train that, especially fighting you. She had to think that was going to be a possibility. And her, like, I always, like her last words, her last thing's like, all right, here we go. I'm going for this. It was wild. What was your first, get the win? I always love to see all this come out when you win. Like you just like, there's just no filters. There's like a 7-second like scream of an F you to like everything. There's this great positive just emotion. What was those 10 seconds? What was that minute afterwards? And what was that night? Did you kind of, because we talked about it, this is the start of something. We're getting on a win streak here. Did you think it was like more of a first step, or was it like, no, I got every win in the UFC is big and like, hey, we're getting joined here?
The perfect spot to stop.
Yeah.
Dirt all over his nose. Go. But so right after the fight, for one thing, I don't know. He's coming right back. We
got fans, I'm telling you. We're excited.
I always look at the videos of me like right after the fight, and I'm like, who is that person?
Yeah, like there's no filter. There's a 10-second of.
This time after I got up, I was like, fuck yeah, what's up, homie? And I'm like, who is this? Like, and then like the second you go to my post-fight interview, I'm back to like, oh, thank you so much. I'm like, it's two different people completely.
This girl right here walks out to PIMP, and then when she's choking people, she goes, "What's up, homie?" Like that's like that's your inner Gillian.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, the Savage and Gillian are two different people.
True.
So it's just like that.
That was the Savage.
That was the Savage at that point. I can't be accountable for that.
And then leave in Vegas a couple days later, a couple days celebration. But how, put it in words to people who don't understand that, how much work you put in, months and months. Sometimes you can go 4, 6, 8 months without getting the fight. How much can you enjoy it, eat great shit, sleep in, do all this stuff, but then get back on the grind? Because that's one win. That's not what you're going for. And you know what I mean? You want something else in 18 months from now.
Yeah. And it's, like, obviously that night we went out, we partied, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think the first time I went into the back room and Hannah's there and she's like, I'm drunk and you need to be drunk. And I was like, okay, this is happening.
That's Hannah Goldie, by the way.
So, that night we definitely partied. We went out and then honestly, I didn't feel like I fought this time. Like usually like the week after the fight, my body legitimately breaks down.
Okay.
Like I feel like all the adrenaline leaves my body and then it's like
weight cut, training camp, fight itself. It's like
then it's like I feel like I got hit by a truck. Whereas like this time I didn't feel that for a good like probably 2 or 3 weeks after. So the week after my fight, I was like sparring. I was going like I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to train. I wanted to do things because I was just filled with adrenaline. I just had all this like, let's go. And then it wasn't till the week of Fury, the grappling match, that I felt like my body was like, okay, we're done. Like I was just started breaking down that week. Yeah. And then it's like having the grappling match builds you up a little bit. So I was like, oh, I got a little bit of momentum. And then coming back home again this week, I was like, my body's just like, all right, we're done.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
And this is, so we recorded a lot of shows together. That's called a transition in the business. We were talking off there about it. Okay, Cage, Fury, grappling. The best grappling event of the year. Like that was, the card was insane. They had that one picture, that one that they put on UFC Fight Pass. It was supposed to be Thug Rose and Danielle Kelly, went to Carlos Braza, but it was them two on top, and then everyone underneath was like, godly, like that list was insane. So a couple things I want to go to. One, the main event was switched. How much did you know about that? Then you got on the card. Seems like pretty late, like maybe last week or 10 days, and then just kind of the whole event itself.
Well, the main event being switched was kind of what really piqued my interest in it, is that I had that call initially. They asked me to go against Danielle Kelly, and then they ended up finding Carla Esparza. So I just decided to go with her, but they still wanted to keep me on the card. So they started looking for matchups, try to get me versus Sarah McMahon, which would have, that was, I was just excited about that. I wanted to do that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and just a fun match of her being an Olympian, everything about it. She's someone to look up to. Yeah. So to be able to test yourself in that way, I think that would be awesome. And then obviously that didn't work through, so then they ended up finding another opponent for me. But just the whole event, I was sitting in the back room and I had Cowboy sitting next to me, and I'm watching Clay Guida and Neil Magny warm each other up together. Yeah. And I'm just this room is insane.
Yeah, I know. And we talk so much about it. Such a fan of the grappling and grappling shows. I think there's such a market, and it's just growing exponentially month after month, year after year. UFC Fight Pass does a phenomenal job with that. Fight Pass, there you go. The check's in the mail. There you go. You're welcome. How much one of the Cage Fury, I kind of want to know about, because you've done SUG numerous of times, but that's a cage, kind of like a UFC octagon. This was this beautiful, humongous. It reminded me when I was a kid, watching Banzai, the Tokyo guys over the diaper. I think there's a name for that. But it was huge. It was awesome. You enjoyed that more, or you like the cage more in grappling?
I guess, I don't know. It's nicer wrestling-wise, I guess, at the cage. You can kind of close off the area a little bit more, push them up against it. You utilize it that way. But being a jiu-jitsu girl, even in MMA, I don't want to be next to the cage. Sure. When we're on the floor, it's I want to have my space to move. So it's definitely nice to have that. And I almost feel like it's easier defensively to utilize the cage. Yeah. So it's to push off of it, to do things like that. So it's I generally grappling, I don't want to be near the cage. So I like having the open mat there. It
looked awesome on air. On the screen, it looks so nice. It looks so good. I can't wait to see what they're going to do. Well, okay, so then you just said you keep going. There's another grapple match. It is announced, right? Talk about it? Okay, so it will come out today. So podcast magic. So you have a main event spot coming up. Tell everyone about that.
So January 15th, I will be defending my high rollers belt.
There you go.
For the first time. So that's going to be dope. And it'll be out in Vegas. So I'm happy about that. I'm looking at 2 more matches right now. I'm talking about for February and March. So
just keeping busy. Just keep busy. NFL running back. They get a first down and their thing, they just want to keep eating. That's Gillian Robertson in Grapple Match. You just keep going and going. It's awesome.
I was talking to my sports psychologist about it, and he was like, I see you getting into a lot of these grappling matches. What's happening? And I'm like, I just can't say no. I'm they keep on coming my way, and I'm just okay, I guess so.
To me, you're such the poster. I think that's the saying how it goes. You're the poster kid for, female grappling, UFC star, all this huge wins underneath your belt, win streaks, records, all that stuff. But then a lot of people, they gravitate to you or connect with you on the grappling side, on the jit side. So it's so these grappling events, when they get you on, it's it's one of ours. It feels we got Gillian, we got a grappler, we got a jits girl, but it's we are bringing in the UFC stars in a little bit. So I think it's great.
Oh yeah. And it really is such a different world to go from the UFC to the jiu-jitsu world. I'm going against these girls, I'm when that's all they focus on, that's all they're doing. And it's I have wrestling, striking.
No elbows come down.
Exactly. Even it's just being on the ground is a different world where it's they're so advanced in setting up submissions and doing things where it's I'm getting to positions, I'm punching you, and then I'm oh, there's a submission.
Yeah. So when you even say that, I had something else I was going to go to, but you said something that really just piqued. It's do you feel them when you're going against high-end girls or guys, right? When you go to high-end, black belts, do you feel they're oh, we're putting our arm here because they want you to block to get something else? Do you feel them setting up 2, 3, 4 moves ahead?
Oh yeah, I feel it's
a chess game.
Yeah, I feel I'm at a level now. It's rare that I'm seeing girls that are that far ahead of me. Even if girls are better than me, it's
right.
I feel I'm slowly there. But there's definitely girls that I have went with in the past, or boys that I've went with that I'm oh, you're already thinking I think we were talking about it earlier. There's somebody I roll with it. I'm literally trying to decide, do I want to get triangled or armbarred? Because it's there's no positive option in there.
Yeah. Gosh, that's so insane. That's insane. I would love, do you think 2023, 2024, do you think be like, yeah, Dave, I can do 20 grappling events? And I know you want to be the UFC Flyweight Championship. We talk about this all the time. The 1 to the 5 fight win streak, which is a couple weeks ago. But do you think, yeah, like, Dave, I can maybe do 2 a month, and there's some bigger ones coming around now, and, you know, High Rollers keeps getting bigger and bigger. Cage Fury, it's awesome what they're doing on UFC Fight Pass. Do you think, like, yeah, it could maybe think, because I remember asking you once, you're like, no, like, I don't think I can live off or be a professional grappler, if that makes sense. Has it changed in the last 6 months in your eyes at all?
I feel like I like my style just in general in grappling is so much more pertaining to MMA than it is jiu-jitsu.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
So it's like I feel like especially just because that's what I train at the moment. You know, it's
right.
like for the last couple of years, I haven't trained jiu-jitsu like a jiu-jitsu girl. I've trained jiu-jitsu like an MMA fighter.
Right.
So it's like that's just where I'm better. Even like any of these matches that I go into, if I have a high-level black belt girl, I get extremely nervous because I know that, like I said, I'm going into their world. Like, this is what they're well versed in, and it's a lot of, like, leg locks and games like that I just won't see in MMA, or I'll punch you in the face in MMA if, like, you're going to play games like that.
Yeah.
So it's, like, it's a completely different world. You're seeing a completely different skill set, and then it's, like, if you want to go into like gi jiu-jitsu too, then that's like changing it 100%. But I trained in the gi last week and I just felt terrible because I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing in this anymore.
All right, we'll cap off the whole UFC part of my last question for you about it is, it's crazy times, 2022. There's stuff out there and there's people pulling out of fights all the time and there's just stuff canceled. And if Mick calls you today on a Thursday, be like, hey, next weekend we have a 125 spot open. You intrigued about it? You're like, no, Dave, I wouldn't mind taking 60 days off. I mean, get a spring fight.
I feel like I'm always ready to fight. And literally any fights that I can't take, it's because Dean has told me not to take them.
Okay.
So it's like I will always put it to my coach, whatever he thinks is best for me in that opportunity. So it's like if an opportunity came up, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. And then he might be like, well, look at the matchup. Like, maybe not on a week's notice for this girl.
Yeah. True. Very true. And you need that. You need that to...
100%, because I'm like, I'm not the one that's going to do it. I'm not the one that's going to be like, yeah, I won't take it.
Gillian's answer the phone, yes. Like, well, it's on this. Yes.
Honestly, even with Dean, though, he's the same as me with 95% of fights. So, like, it's a very rare occasion that he's going to be like, no, I don't want you to do this. And even that, he's always going to be like, I don't think this is a good idea, but you can do what you want to do. And, but yeah, I feel like we're always ready. We know that like, we're going to get the call at any time. So it's like, we're just going to be ready for it. And
we're excited. We definitely love us some Gillian Robertson. Okay. How about someone else we really like here with Fight Bananas? David Evans, happy birthday a couple of days ago to him. He's got something big coming up and you kind of said you might go out there and corner him. So I would just love, that's good. That's a big spot for him. Dana White's going to be there looking for a fight. That's a cool spot.
Oh yeah. I'm super hyped for David. Like, I'm actually going to go out to Vegas with him next week. So we're going to go out and train at Extreme Couture. He's going to do his camp out there. And then I'm going to be cornering him in St. Louis. Well, it's actually in Kansas City.
Kansas City, yeah.
So I'm going to be flying into St. Louis, then driving him to Kansas City is what I'm doing.
There you go.
Being a good friend, helping somebody cut weight.
David's like, can you... Like, you can corner me, but I need you to drive me. I need you to cut weight with me. You know, that's the fight game, right?
Yeah, exactly. But so I'll be flying out there, and like you said, he's performing in front of Dana. So like, this is a huge opportunity for him, and it's one that I believe he really deserves. Yeah,
big fight for him. Just you can just watch him, and he pops off the screen to me. Like, that's what I noticed about him a long time ago, probably 18, 20 months ago. He just pops off the screen. You can tell he's got a UFC mentality, UFC technique, body, all that. I think he's a high-level prospect.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I think it shows it in his last fight, too. Like, he just went out there and was just able to dominate, able to take his opponent down quick and just get on top and do damage, start throwing elbows and, like, make him quit. Like, he got a submission, but the kid quit before he even got the submission.
I love that. Hey, we just saw Rob here. Anything? What's the life of Gillian Robertson? Rob's good. You know, you good? Everything good? Everything normal?
I was about to say that.
Or what is normal now in 2022?
Exactly. I feel like I'm just all over the place now. Like, since
you were just in Orlando this past weekend destroying people at Fusion. New grappling section there.
I feel like every other weekend I'm somewhere different. I'm somewhere, either a different state, different country, I don't know, city, everywhere. I feel like I'm traveling so much lately, just getting different work, getting a lot of different looks, and that's always beneficial, but it's a lot too. I miss my dog.
yeah. Like when do you know? Does someone have to tell you? Does Dean have to tell you? Or is it someone or is yourself kind of coming, okay, like this week, I need to relax a little bit. I need to maybe just do a night session or even skip a Monday, Tuesday, whatever, and have like a, little float of the week. Who tells you, or is it yourself that tells you, I might have to slow down, or, the title will be there. The flyweight title will be there in 18 months. It's going to be there.
I'm not familiar with these words you're speaking.
Yeah. Gillian, slow, calm down, relax.
Relax.
Yeah. After this week, she has something else booked right after this. I'm going to leave and boom, to the next thing.
Like I said, usually after a fight, my body starts breaking down, and that's how this week has been for me. I've just been my whole body has been done. I haven't been wanting to do anything at all, but I've still done 2 days every single day of the week, and I still drove up to Orlando to spar, drove to Miami to spar on Tuesday. So it's just I keep on telling people, with my body breaking down, I'm just waiting for that next adrenaline spike.
Yeah, you do. What's the next one?
I'm like a drug addict. That's my drug. It's my adrenaline.
And this is also why I've been saying for 5 years how great Florida MMA is and how great they're building the fighters. Because people in Wisconsin right now, they're not traveling. They can't drive an hour away. You just talked about traveling to Orlando, traveling to Miami to go and all these things. And it's we literally just had lunch and it's 82 degrees out. We're eating tacos. It's I think it's such a leg up on the competition. I think it's an underrated part about Florida MMA.
I just feel in general, I don't like training in the cold.
Yeah,
I wake up and it's cold outside. I'm like, oh, fuck this. I don't want to do anything.
Right, it's a known thing. People get grouchy in the wintertime and it's cloudy and dark and cold and hard to travel and put on 12 layers. We got tees and shirts and we're gone.
My old bones hurt.
Yeah, Julie's 27 going on 44 on bones wise.
I feel warming up in the cold. I just feel all my joints. They hurt so bad. Getting warm is the hardest part.
That's crazy. Probably last thing, and then we'll run. What do you think people can see Gillian Robertson on this side of it? Maybe holding a microphone, maybe in front. Podcast shows. What do you think you want to do more to kind of give back, or just want to get into more stuff of that nature, or you're just very happy on how things are, and we'll see.
No, I definitely like doing commentating, podcasting, things like that. It's definitely something that I would love to get into. I love that. Just for after being in the sport, after when I'm retiring, I would love to be able to still be around the sport, be in the sport, and not actually have to be getting punched in the face, be sitting in the middle of it.
They'll give you a check and no hits. You just wear a nice, clothes, and they hand you over a check.
It's a lot nicer that way.
Maybe we'll see Gillian January 29th at Island Fights. Maybe we'll see. Maybe on the mic. There's an amazing lead commentator there for Island Fights. I'm just throwing it out there. Jeez. There's another plug. People are just sending checks in the mail, but I would love 10 years from now, you have Chael Sonnen, you got Sug 250, and you're doing commentating with them. You're in the chair with that beautiful wood background, and Chael Sonnen, of course, would be like, okay, Gillian, what'd you think of this?
I don't think Chael's ever said one right fact about me.
Chael, come on, dude. Come on. Name, age, gym, things change. Come on, Chael. I'm sending this to you straight to the DMs. We're attacking Chael Sonnen for sure. But any last things? Any last shout outs? Any?
I guess that I was gonna say watch me compete. You can't. I don't think there is a stream for it.
Oh, there's nothing for the high rollers.
No, that I know of.
Okay.
But yeah.
Do you have any? And then you have more grappling stuff in the works for Feb in March?
Yeah, in the talks for February in Texas, but I don't have a matchup for that yet.
Nice, okay.
But I believe it's March 12th. I want to say it's the beginning of March. I know.
Okay.
I have combat jiu-jitsu tournament for 135-pound girls tournament. And
nice.
So far, it's halfway filled. So I'm super excited for that one.
Do you know the names that are filled?
I know Fatima Klein. gosh, the girl that's the champ, I can't remember, but she's definitely doing it.
Okay. That was such a fun. That was at the end of last year, right?
Oh yeah. Honestly, I like just doing straight jiu-jitsu. I've never had so much fun. Just being being able to throw the slaps makes a huge difference. It's just enjoyable.
I love that. That's why she's the fighter. That's why she's the savage. Yeah, guys, Dave Van Auken, the Dave Van Auken Show. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe, do all those good fun stuff. That's Gillian The Savage Robertson. Give her a follow. We might put something like there, like a logo or something there. There you go. There. All right, guys, we're out. Later.